brookeboothcoaching.com, where I help Mormons navigate mixed faith marriages. I'm going to talk about divorce, mixed faith divorce, in this little video. I know many people, myself included, do not like to even consider divorce. I get it, it's scary. But I want to talk about considering divorce. Two ideas. First one is considering divorce, and the second one is when it becomes a reality, when it's something on the table. So let's talk about this. First, just considering it. So I know I've said it, I don't even know how many times in my marriage I've heard it in the larger society: divorce is not an option. That's how we're going to approach this. Divorce is not an option. And I want to talk to that. This can result in a couple of ways it can go down. One is when you say divorce is not an option, and this works for many, many people. I want you to hear that. It just doesn't always work for everybody, and that's what I want to talk about here for a minute. Because when you say divorce is not an option, sometimes what that means, or how you interpret it, is I have no options. I'm stuck. There are no options available to me in this marriage. I have to stay in a less ideal marriage. That's my only option. It leaves people feeling lackluster, stuck, miserable. Often, this is what creates mediocre relationships, when people feel stuck. When you put it as an option on the table, and I know it's scary, and it can sometimes change things, change the dynamics of a relationship. By putting it as an option on the table, sometimes what it creates is people opting in. I choose to be here. I want to make this work. I want to be here. I'm going to do what it takes to make this relationship work. Just because it's on the table doesn't mean anybody's going to pick it up and exercise that option. When we put it on the table, sometimes what it does is it opens up the options available to people so they don't feel so stuck, so they feel like they have choice. So when they're choosing to stay, do you know what people do? They invest, they nurture, they do things, they reach out when it's hard. They're willing to do the harder things again and again and again and again. So you might want to consider, if you're one of those people who are like, divorce is not an option, and if that's working for you, great, keep doing it. But if the marriage is feeling stuck, if it feels like you don't have a good option, it's something to consider. Another thing I want to talk about is, when it becomes a reality. Sometimes relationships are complete. A marriage is complete. Sometimes it's a unilateral thing and you don't really have a lot of choice in it. You're served divorce papers. Either way, and I tell my clients this all the time, you now have a mixed faith marriage and it's going to become a mixed faith divorce. That relationship, when you have children, minor children, isn't going away anytime soon, depending on the age of the children. So you're still going to have to make many of the same decisions: seminary, girls' camp, like all of these types of things, temple trips. You're just going to do it in a slightly different container. But all those decisions still need to get made. All of that communication still needs to happen. Divorce is not a panacea. It doesn't solve all the issues in a mixed faith marriage. Yes, it may solve some, but it only just changes many. So I tell my clients that whatever the outcome, you'll still need to face the reality of being in a mixed faith relationship, whether that's a marriage or a divorce. You can't escape it. So let's not, wait or waste time to really develop the skill set you need, to have the tools you need to have a successful mixed faith relationship. So if you are in a mixed faith marriage, if you're in a mixed faith divorce, if you're in a mixed faith marriage and you're afraid it's going to be a mixed faith divorce, if you're in a mixed faith marriage and you don't want it to be a mixed faith divorce, I can help you with all of this. This is my specialty. Reach out to me and you can get on one of my free calls. I have a couple of free consult calls I offer, and let's talk. Let's find out what's going on in your marriage. I have a group starting up in end of May, right around Memorial Day. You might want to be in that. Get on one of my free calls and we'll talk about all the options available to help you have a great mixed faith marriage. or a great mixed faith divorce. All right, wishing you the best.